All right, welcome back to our business show where we bring you insights into the latest trends and developments reshaping the global economy. Business Rendezvous. Today, we're going to delve into the fascinating topic of Saudi Arabia's sports ambition and its drive to unlock the economic potential of a rapidly growing industry. Saudi Arabia has been making headlines for its unprecedented investments in sports. The nation, known for its rich culture and history, is now setting its sight on becoming a sports hub, aiming to transform the landscape of the country's economy from football to motorsports. Saudi Arabia is rapidly emerging as a force to be reckoned with in the world of sports. But what does this mean for businesses, both domestically and internationally? How can entrepreneurial venture ride this wave of sports-driven growth? Joining me is our sports expert on ITV Radio, sports correspondent and presenter of Global Sports, Solomon Aino. So stay tuned as we shed light on the strategic investments being made, highlighting their potential to attract tourists, create employment opportunities, and fuel economic growth. We'll also explore the challenges Saudi Arabia may face as it endeavors to emerge as a premier destination for sports enthusiasts worldwide. Welcome, Solomon.
It's good to be here this morning talking
Yes.
sport in
In a different way.
Yes.
All right, we just have to make sure you do sports today, you talk sports today, because I know there's going to be the Independence Award where at the time you're supposed to come. So let's talk about Saudi Arabia's influence to start with, because in our local slang, say they don't attention the world.
Yes.
Now, everybody's talking about sports washing, which we will delve into briefly. Is it because it's Saudi Arabia that term is showing, but it's not sports washing when others are doing it? But what is Saudi's influence in sports? Why does it matter at this time? And why is everyone so bothered about them? What's the pressure?
You know, over the years, we've had different parts of the world, different country, invest solely on sports. And we are seeing a decline in recent time. Initially, we had the United States of America pumping in a large amount of money into different kinds of sports. But they have the NFL, they have the NBA, and that they focus on. That is American football and also basketball. And they tried to diversify over the time, but they couldn't impute so much money into sports. So it moved down to Europe, and the European counterpart tried to put in so much money into sports also, but it became difficult at the time, more like they can't keep up at the pace at which they want to. Then it now moved gradually to China. If you could recall, there was some time that players were moving from European football to China, competition being hosted in China, everything just wants to be in China. But China also got tired of pumping money into sport, large amounts of money, because when you look at some of this competition, when you look at some of these events that are being set up for sporting activity, it involves a whole lot of money. I think China pulled out after Beijing Olympic. We saw a decline in them pumping in money into sporting activities. Now we are seeing a move into the Northeast. We're seeing the Saudi Arabians, the UAE, the Kuwait, the Qataris, they're pumping in money into sport in large quantity. We look at the FIFA World Cup. Moving away from the FIFA World Cup, looking at the transfer window for European football and also the Saudi Arabian League. You're seeing large amounts of players, large players that are going there on large salaries and also large transfer, moving to Saudi Arabia. So they look like the new frontier now when it comes to the sporting world. They are ready to spend the money. They don't look back. They have the money to spend. The oil money is there for them to spend. And they are not just doing it there in Saudi Arabia. They're expanding their tentacles also. They are in European football right about now, trying to secure some clubs. In recent time, we saw a man from Saudi Arabia trying to buy a large amount of shares in Manchester United. In the likes of Newcastle, they are being owned by another company in Saudi Arabia. We have the likes of Paris Saint-Germain also being owned by companies in Saudi Arabia. We saw the same situation with Chelsea before United States of American citizen eventually got hold of the club. So you see that this is a country or this is a region in the world right about now that is ready to spend the money on sports. They are not looking back at it. If you look at the FIFA World Cup, it's for now, it's still on the record as the most expensive FIFA World Cup. The previous one, you see them spending about, the one in Qatar, you see them spending about 80 to 100 million dollars or pounds in trying to put everything together. But it spends as much as 400 to 450 million to put the FIFA World Cup together. So they are not scared of spending the money. They are not just scared of spending the money right about now.
This is so sad that we have the same oil that these nations have. They even live in a desert. and yet we cannot compare. Well, in your view, what are the key economic benefits that Saudi Arabia can derive from its sporting activities and ambition? You know, you did say so many other countries have ventured into it and they pulled out. So they might most likely weren't making as much gains as they projected.
Yes.
So do you think Saudi is going to succeed where others failed?
Well, they would. Over time, we've seen Saudi Arabia as a tourist center. Most people just want to have holidays in Saudi Arabia, go to Dubai, you know, have a good time. But right about now, they know once they can channel the right athletes, the right sportsmen, men and women into their country, the tourism will increase. More people will want to come and see them. Okay, for now, we have Cristiano Ronaldo playing in Saudi Arabia. Most fans of Cristiano Ronaldo are shifting their weight to Saudi Arabia. They want to watch games where Cristiano Ronaldo features. Let me give you a quick example. In recent weeks, the price ticket for any game in the United States of America that Lionel Messi will feature in, because right now he's in Inter Miami in the US, is as high as $20,000 for special tickets. Now, imagine you're coming to Saudi Arabia now, and you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you have Neymar, you have the likes of Sadio Mane of Senegal in that same country playing football. Come on, most people will pay for the ticket. They won't even mind. You have celebrities trying to watch some of these games, trying to like catch a glimpse of their star players. You know, they will want to shift their weight to this same league. That's the idea. Because they are not just buying all these players for buying sake. They didn't cook up a World Cup of around $450 million pounds for a nothing sake. Tourism is there. People will definitely come in to watch some of these activities. We saw MotoGP also shifting their weight to what's happening in Saudi Arabia, also trying to hold some events there, the Formula One and the rest of them. Because these people, they know they make a whole lot of money from tourism. Apart from the oil money, what else do you want to go to Saudi Arabia? The place is hot. Yeah. Basically, it's hot. So, you know, you have to provide something that will be comfortable and suiting for people coming into the country to have a good time. So what will they do? They bring in big names. Those big names are the reason why people go to the stadium. Still bringing an example out of Lionel Messi in the United States of America. The first game that he played, you had celebrities like Kanye West, you had celebrities like David Beckham coming to watch his game. You have celebrities like LeBron James, also a sportsman, coming to watch Lionel Messi. All these people will pay for tickets. They won't just come in there for free. Yeah. So that's the same thing they are trying to replicate in Saudi Arabia, and I think they are doing it well. For now, they're doing it well.
Now, this strategy that they've employed seems to be working too smoothly, and now the world is tagging it sports washing. Well, we're going to talk about sports washing after the news update. What exactly does this word mean? And would you also target, in your own view as a professional analyst of sports, sports washing at the moment? And is it so bad? All right, and then we'll also look at Nigeria and our sporting sector, what we can do to catch up and be like the rest of the world. But we'll make way now for the news update at this time. When we return, we'll talk some more. All right, so it's still Business Rendezvous, and we're discussing Saudi Arabia's sports ambition, unlocking the economic potential of a growing industry. Sports is a growing industry. I have Solomon Ainor. He's the ITV radio sports correspondent and presenter of our ITV program, Global Sports. And we've talked about Saudi's influence in sports and what they stand to benefit from investing so much in sports. Now, last week, Wednesday, the Fox News had an interview with the Prince of Saudi, Mohammed, and he was accused of sports washing. And that didn't faze him. He said he was going to continue because anything to increase his GDP, even if it's by 1%, he will do it. And sports will increase his GDP, so his game, whatever they want to dub it, they should go ahead and say. So now, what exactly is sports washing for those who are just hearing that concept for the first time? I think last week was one of the first times I heard the word. So what does it mean? And do you think, in your own expert opinion, that what Saudi Arabia is doing at the moment is sports washing?
I'll basically say in layman terms, to make it very easy for most people to understand, whenever I say sports washing, probably as someone flooding the whole system, trying to like make it tune into their own direction and make it very easy for them, their own self. And basically, everybody's worried about the fact that Saudi Arabia is pumping way too much into sports to just make it be in their own favor. But basically, you know that one way or the other, they have to do that. Everybody's looking on ways to grow their economy, on ways to make the country very easy for them, ways for them to make gains, improve their GDP and the rest of them. So definitely they'll pump in a whole lot of funds, a whole lot of money into their sporting activities. So anybody accusing Saudi Arabia now, come on, they should just look for a way to get better at the way they package their own sports and see whether they can invest more on their own sports. If you look at some of these countries, they have other things that they focus on, not just sports. You rarely see countries that are putting their 100% into sport because they see that it's a way out. For Saudi Arabia, they have limited resources, unlike the rest of the world. You can't go to Saudi Arabia and just pin down like 10 mineral resources or 10 different activities that they do that bring in money for them. So them seeing the fact that there's money in sports, either by hosting, by viewing, or by putting events together, definitely right now Saudi Arabia is keen into it 100%. We've seen countries over the years, especially it's a thing for European countries, the whole EU and some parts of Africa do put so much interest in sports. Especially if you come down to Nigeria now, we know that we are very good at different sporting activities, athletics, down to football, male and female category, the youth level, and the rest of them. But at the end of the day, you see that we don't pump so much money into sport because we don't want to wait for the long time for the gains to start coming in. You understand? Now we are having a country that they don't even care about how long it's going to take, how far it's going to take before they start making gain from the world of sport. But they just decide like, okay, this is sports, there's money there, let's pump in money. The only country that you can outrightly see, or the only region in the world that you can outrightly see that they're pumping so much money into sporting activities, the South Americans. If you see the South and the North American, the way they pump in money into sporting activities, because they know that they see sporting activities as a way of relaxing, a way of putting the pressure of work and everything aside, and people will definitely pay to come for all these events. In Nigeria, now let's use our country for instance, if you put a price of 5,000 naira per ticket for a football match, I bet you nobody will come for the match. But if you try that in South America or in Europe also, people will come. You see that the stadium is filled, the stadium of about 60,000 capacity, and it's filled to the brim. You just ask yourself, is it for free? No, they all paid for it. But in Nigeria, before you have a stadium of probably 10,000 to capacity, it must be for free. If it's not for free, nobody will come around and watch, or very few people will risk it and pay that amount of money. So these are countries that they see that, okay, their people are keen into it. It's a way for people to get away from the work stress in Saudi Arabia right about now. Not just Saudi Arabia. Even in countries like Qatar, countries like UAE, we are seeing influx of players, and definitely people are using it as a step down from work to have a good time, watch football, while away time. If you look at the stadium now, filled in Saudi Arabia, like I watched a few of their matches in the past few days, and filled to the capacity. People are coming out to watch football, and the tickets are expensive. At the FIFA World Cup in Qatar, for the VIPs, I think one of the seats is about $540,000 per seat. Now imagine a VIP session with about 200 people. Imagine how much they've made just for a match, just one match. That was the final between Argentina and France. Just one seat is about 550,000 US dollars. So they are making a whole lot of money. So them pumping in money, right now they don't even care wherever anybody's saying about the fact that they are washing, let me put it that way, watching sport right about now. If they have another sporting activity that they can host and pump in a whole lot of money, they would jump at it right now. They are not even scared about, okay, with the profits match up with the amount that they are spending. They don't care. All what they want to see is that, okay, there are people turning their attention to Saudi Arabia, because in recent time they also tried to bid in playing in the UEFA Champions League in Europe, because they know that they have the capability to fund it if it's about the money. But the players might not be there, but they have the capability to fund it. And they don't care. Right now, they just want it to get better and better and better for them. And they are not stopping now. The world should be ready for what the Qataris and also the Saudi Arabians are in for right about now. They are ready to pump in as much as they can into sporting activity because they know there's money there.
Okay, what can Nigeria learn from all of this? Bringing it home now, because we just have to, sports is a big one. It's always shocking how Nigerians can be Nigerian, like you said, wouldn't want to pay about 5K to go see a match at the stadium. Well, these same Nigerians will go to the UK and struggle to get to Manchester City just to go watch a match. You know, do whatever it is, work 4 shifts if they can to raise the funds to go see a match. Even if it's there, they're going to be at the the least seats, they don't mind. But what can we as a nation learn from all of this, and also maybe boost our economy? Because there's once the sporting sector in Saudi Arabia is booming, domestic trade, I think, will increase.
Yes.
Internationally, there must be some way some people can cash in as well and cash out from it. But what can we learn from all of this?
Well, before we go to Saudi, before we come back home to Nigeria, one thing that Saudi Arabia definitely will make gains from. For now, they are importing players. I won't call it buying again.
Yeah.
Because they just ask how much for this player. If you tell them it's 50 million, hey, this is 50 million, give us the player. At the end of the day, some of these players will be exported to other countries, probably other countries trying to emulate what the Saudi Arabians are doing now. Oh. And all those transfers will come in large amounts. For instance, we know Cristiano Ronaldo, age is not on his side when it comes to the footballing world, but people want to watch him. But if any club side, probably in other countries in the north, want to sign Cristiano Ronaldo, definitely they will pay for his services, and that's money. Now, coming back home to Nigeria, one of the few things that must be in place before people can see sport as a thing to spend whatever amount it is on it is infrastructure. If the infrastructure are in top-notch quality, you see people come around and watch football. Like in recent time when Bendel Insurance of Benin hosted RS Berkane of Morocco, the stadium was almost filled up. People were around, but it was for free. That's the difference. Now, if it's being paid for, the quality of the match, the quality at which the players and also the match official will enjoy the game is one thing to watch out for. You can't be paying for a match that at the end of the day the field is waterlogged or the referees are not doing the right thing on the pitch. There's nobody owning up to some mistakes on the pitch. There's no proper welfare of the players. Some of them are not excited, or probably the kits are not complete. You know, all those little things, those infrastructures, if they are in place, people definitely will pay to watch good football. For instance, this same country that we're in now, Nigeria, if you have the likes of, let's say you have a Manchester United coming around to play a match in Benin City with Bendel Insurance, and you tell people to pay 1,000 naira to come and watch, they will definitely come around to watch the game. They are not coming around to watch the game because of Bendel Insurance. They are coming around to watch the game because of Manchester United. They're playing against Bendel Insurance. That is quality that those football clubs in their country have built over the years, which makes people want to just watch them. The quality of players, the quality of their kits, the quality, the way they even comport themselves is something to beckon on. So if Nigeria can bring that into all sporting activities, we've had a situation whereby competition are being arranged in Nigeria, and you hear that, okay, tomorrow we are postponing it. The same thing happened to the Nigerian Professional Football League. It started over the weekend. They already slated the date earlier on for, I think, 16th of September. They moved it to 26th. And at the end of the day, it came around on the 1st of October. So it's a whole lot for the country to work on. And we're in a country whereby we prefer diversity. We want different things at the same time. While watching other countries focus on very few things that they want to do at a particular time and achieve it first before moving to this next one. It's one step at a time. So once Nigeria key into the idea that, okay, if you are going into sport, don't pick all the old sporting activities at once. Just pick one or two. Focus on it. Try to develop it to the highest. Bring it to the world standard. Then move to the next sporting activities. But in Nigeria, you see athletics, you see basketball, you see badminton, you see volleyball, you see handball, all the sporting activity, and everybody wants to invest on it at the same time. You find it very difficult to bring in private investors. Still going back to the Qataris now and also the Saudi Arabians. Once the first step that they made was coming into a European sporting world and try to understand how they work. This is how they did it. They came in as sponsors. We have Flying Emirates, we have the Etihad, we have a whole lot of them. We have some of their mobile network come to European clubs and also try to sponsor them. Try to know how they work. Try to know how the structure is, how the business is. From there, they started acquiring clubs. They started with Paris Saint-Germain. They went on to Newcastle. Now they are trying to get clubs like Manchester United and the rest of them. So they want to understand the structure before they take it back home and try to emulate what they've learned. So if Nigeria can do that, try to understand the structure of this thing and not just come into the whole thing like a big dog and just say, okay, oh yeah, I'm already big at it. I know some of these things and I can do it. No. Go into these countries, try to understand how they process everything. Can we do it? Can we invest in it that much? And see how we can bring it back home and make it work.
Interesting. Okay, and that's how we're going to be in today's discussion on Business Rendezvous. The world of sports is so filled with money if you know what you're doing. And if there was no money in it, you wouldn't be hearing players earning over 300 million pounds. That's a lot of money. That's money we're talking about. And we're hoping the Nigerians will be one of the top paid players in the world real soon. And Nigeria can also venture into something. In the Asian countries now, they are all focused on tech, everything tech, you know. And when Saudi Arabia started, it was about developing their space. It was about tourism. It's about getting the best equipment. And then they did a bit of science and good relations with the world. And now they're talking sports. And before you know it, it's not only tourism and sports, there'll be other things that they're pursuing with the same oil, the natural resources we have. The only thing Nigeria is really focused about now is leave oil. Let's start lithium. It's all right. Well, we're going to end today's discussion on that note. I'll be back again on Wednesday with a fresh edition of Business Rendezvous. But make it a date with Lawrence to see for tomorrow at exactly 9 a.m. Have a nice day. Happy Independence celebration and happy public holiday to Nigerians.